Hello folks, welcome to a Goosebumps HorrorTown Revisited special. This is our third book, but technically this is our fourth episode. But we're going to be looking at the third book that was added here. Please Don't Feed the Vampires. Oh boy. This one's really infamous, because if you remember, the second one that got added was Welcome to Dead House. This one's considered to be, as of right now, the recording of this is probably like the end of 2020. This is the worst event that they have ever put out, and that's sad because the concept of it was interesting, but everything about it just kind of failed miserably. So, we're going to have to ask ourselves, is this book good? Is it to blame? Is it just doomed to fail? Well, this is what this whole thing's going to answer about. And there was a glitch that happened too, which I'm going to explain later on. But before we dive in, let's take a look at our cast of characters. First off is the main one, Countess Yvonne, or as Old Grim would have called it, Yvonne. I know, stupid me. I don't remember E's or silence sometimes. But yeah, Yvonne is an interesting character because she was a lot of redesigns, but I'll talk about that in a minute. Namely, the fact that her look is more of a film actress of sorts. And then her monster form is more of like the vampire bride that you kind of expect to see. It's real interesting too, because I mentioned, like, you could take a look at my previous video of the Please Don't Feed the Vampires, and you get to see exactly what the whole concept of it is with her monster form. And, if you want more history of it, you should look at that, because part 0 I've really went in depth with this book, so lots of fun facts there. Right, so then we go into Fifi, which is the vampire poodle, and in this case is Brooke's dog. And it's interesting too, because her whole look and everything like that is more faithful to the book, in like the actual reading of the book, and mostly probably based off of the movies. And that's to be expected, because here's the other thing I wanted to mention too. Back in the when the event came up back in 2019, their minions, the vampires here, I said it looked familiar and all that stuff, and then even closer to her actual in-game file, I said she looked like a Yvonne or Elvira kind of deal, but that's not correct, because it turns out this was actually based off of the Yvonne from the movie. And if you looked at what the actress who played as her in this, it's pretty much the same thing. And originally, I believe this was supposed to be Yvonne, but then they've decided to change it and made this as the minion, which I think is a better choice. But that's just my opinion. Before we dive into the gameplay and all that, usually by this time I show you what's inside the bundles. However, I didn't get a chance to get that, sadly. However, I did message support, and they helpfully gave me a list of stuff here. By the looks of it, it seems like most of what you can expect are pretty much in the game. So both you get Fifi and Countess Yvonne. You get a lot of the items that were based from last event, as well as the special ones. So a lot of the exclusive unique items based on bundles, you can actually get them all here, so nothing seems to be missing or added. And what you'll find interesting too is that if you're actually a new player or a previous player, you can still get some cool, nice items that might help you fancy up the place in the game. So there's that. Right, so might as well dive into the game, and then I'll talk about the glitch per se. So let's just dive right in. So here's my in-app purchase of the Please Don't Feed the Vampires, and as you can see, the trailer has been unlocked. Now what's interesting is the trailer itself, it actually was part of the event, but it wasn't the crafting scene. But I'll talk more about that, but first let's go ahead and read what the description of this book is. Please Don't Feed the Vampire. Join HorrorTown's most prestigious vampire in her seek for true love. In the description, the Countess take advantage of her protagonism in the new movie shooting at HorrorTown to seek for her one and only love, Count Nightwing. Things don't go like expected when Brooke's dog, Fifi, puts its paws in the wrong place. May this be a new addition to the vampire clan. And as you can see, I've pretty much beaten the game. Wow. Wow, like I completed it before it even started. Yep, this was the biggest error I had. This is why I couldn't do anything at the time, because of this screw up. So I had to wait until the next update, in this case would have been the Halloween one, in order to actually be able to play anything. Now what was interesting is that this used to be a unique prop that was in the promenade before, and then came back this in 2020 of the Phantom of the Opera, or Auditorium, to be the scene here. And as you'll notice that most of these things have back, except one thing that's new and changed is that glitter on top here. Like, everything's pretty much the same except for, instead of the vampire essence, because that's now the Mayor's Rage, they've changed it to like some sort of new powder. So that's a new thing they've added. But yeah, technically speaking, as of this video, I could just go ahead and get it. So the Haunted Essence is what it's called. This is a new design. Previously, it was the, as you know, like, it'll be interesting to see what they've kind of changed overall. And what you'll notice is when it comes to these special books, they've altered some things around. And right here, I'm going to be showing you some of the animations. I'll probably show it again during the actual video portion, but anyways, this is the one new animation that's added once you get the Please Don't Feed the Vampires, and that is Marty's quest of pretending to be a vampire, or in this case, run around with a cape like he's Superman or any other superhero vigilante with a cape. No capes. Incredibles meme reference there. Cannot think of Incredibles without that, especially with the capes. Yvonne has a bit of interim. Most of them are pretty much the same. They've changed the drop rates for these. For some strange reason, she can now look out for vampires and do her Nightwing thing with the actual 2 buildings. However, there is one new thing, which is the Nightwing dance. If you recall back in the Haunted Halloween, the Welcome to Dead House, she had a unique animation. And now it's back for this, for some reason. You don't do it during the quest line, but I will give you a better look at this animation in full during this video. So let's take a moment for that. Now, let's go ahead and look at Fifi. Fifi has a new animation, which is howling as a monster, same as Yvonne. When it came to when it was updated, everything else is pretty much the same, except this is the only animation that actually drops something. In this case, it's like blood, or the whatever you call it. I know they don't really call it blood, but you know what I mean, the vials, the red stuff. So we got that stuff going on here. And yeah, so this was taking place when the Haunted School update came out. However, it's going to be a bit of a break when the next part comes in, because, or a jump, I should say, because the update didn't fix anything until later on. Giant G's. It's still going to get weird for me. So let's try this again. Let's see if we can't have him do the dance. No. We'll have her do the dance later on then. For now, we're going to have her do this quest, which is to look for her beloved, which I believe is using one of these towers, either the clock tower, which I had to buy, or in this case the actual castle thing. Now what's interesting is that the castle thing is a unique item, but you can get another one. Now what's weird is that there is some funky things going on with some of these items. For some reason, for the Christmas one, whenever I get to do that, there was a weird issue when it came to the actual, like, getting duplicates of items, despite the fact I wasn't sure exactly why. A close-up of that, by the way, of her just in her monster form looking around, as we saw in the past. So we got that going for ourselves. This is the pop-up for the special book, the 3rd one, which is, in this case, the vampire book. So we have her done. So most of this is just going to be showing off the animations here. Now, I don't think I actually shown off the I might have done them here. There are some animations, Fifi doing stuff like walking around and being cute, and I think I did in my other previous videos actually show them off better. And yeah, so this is her dancing close with her clipping in the wall, so pay no attention to that. But it's interesting because of the fact that, again, if you want more of my reaction to everything and I've actually done close-up, I would recommend you actually take a look into the actual purpose of this video when it comes to the actual game. You know what I'm talking about, the actual Please Don't Feed the Vampire event. So this is her animation of basically turning into a bat. It seems interesting is that they switch the character profile to be that of a, like, it's still walking, but you'll see, like, turns into a little bat. It just poofs, so it's in and out, rather than just kind of, which is a cheap, easy way to do it, right? Just do a poof. So this is all the items from this, and as you'll know, as you can see, I'm going to be adding it to the previously added Shock Street update, because, you know, it's all about films and creepy rides, so might as well make this look more of a film set. The candles are actually going to be, some of the items are actually going to be for this area, but what's great about the actual gothic textures and weird items there, like the candles, I can actually use that for more of the medieval area, namely the one from the Be Afraid world. I kind of did some stuff there. So you'll get to see a little bit of that when that gets finished and popped off. But yeah, for now it's just simply putting all these items in and together and trying to make something look good. And I think I kind of accomplished that slightly. Like, again, it's interesting that some of these items are from the update from before, but then you get to this one, which is more, like, you know what I mean? Like, they actually, it fits well, is what I'm saying. Is that I like how some of these events and some of these items actually collab with one another. So in this case, some of the items here can fit well with the Shocker and Sock Street, and vice versa. Shocker's probably good when it comes to actually making Horrorland if you want to make a theme park-ish items and stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see everything kind of flesh out and kind of go around. But yeah, for now it's just adding these items and decorating stuff here. But yeah, a lot of stuff has happened since the time this video came out as far as the Yvonne and Fifi goes. The whole thing of this is talking about Count Nightwing, which is interesting now because as of this video, the area near the castle, like up there, the mansion looking thing, it's kind of hinted at that that's might be Nightwing's quote castle. I have reason to believe they changed it to a mansion, and I think originally it was made as a castle because there has been promos and other stuff that I've found online that would suggest otherwise. But now we're over here to finish off our decoration. So all these creepy stuff like the blood tree, and I know there's a proper name for it, but I don't know what it's called fully. I don't want to butcher it like I did with other names beforehand. So we have the candle light. It would be interesting if we had more of these around. And this is just for me. But some of these items, I feel like once you unlock the area, like say for example, like some of these items that you can have more of, it should probably unlock within the store to buy multiple if you want. So I know it's a suggestion. I know they may take that and run with it, which some people might not like, but again, they don't have to take it. I'm just throwing out suggestions of what could work as far as these things go. Right, so I'm just gonna be editing some stuff here, wrapping it up, trying to move stuff to make them look good. If you've seen my past videos, especially like the one we're currently on right now, Chicken, you would probably see that this area already been made up and kind of done, and that's a thing with some of these videos. You kind of see a sneak peek at the future videos to come, so that's always interesting to have that happen. Right, so this is one of those unique items that came within the bundle. I'm trying to remember where exactly this came from. I believe this was for... I think it was for Yvonne, I think. I'm not 100% sure. But I know that there was one that I didn't get to have at first, and I got it, I think, the Gothic Mausoleum, when the auditorium came in. And that's the other thing too, is like, you see how these things kind of play around? But yeah, anyways, that's just a cut to just explain that after this point, all the videos you saw was from the past and me trying to do what I can. After this point here, it's going to go into actual gameplay, because this is when the Trick or Trap update came out. And as you'll see here, the update finally popped in, so now we get to be able to replay this. For some strange reason, I don't know what happened, but they accepted it as me already completing it, so they reset it already. This unfortunately set some people to reset again because of this error for some players, aka my fault. But I wanted to make sure I show you everything here, so without further ado, let's go into the story of...
Please don't feed the vampire. I hear a vampire movie is going to be filmed in our very own horror town. I wonder if there's a role for a very handsome skeleton.
Landing a Hollywood film production is the highlight of my tenure as a mayor. If nothing goes wrong, I'm sure to be re-elected in a landslide.
Oh, how those changed.
Everything must go smoothly with the vampire film production. The director seems okay, so that's good.
Yeah, it's not RP Fair Day.
It's the famous actress, Countess Yvonne, who worries me. There's something odd about her. She hardly comes out of her trailer in the daytime and seems rather taciturn. Not to say dark and brooding. But I'm probably worrying over nothing. She may just be sigh.
So, place the trailer, place her mansion, and place the film set. And now we're going to go into Yvonne's questline.
Have you heard the legend of the Nightwing clan? It's a scary tale. They're a family of vampires with an insatiable appetite. They plan to convert the world. They'll turn everyone into vampires. Or food. You don't want to get on their bad side. Trust me.
Alright, so place the Jepico, the vampire coffin, and look for Count Nightwing, which we've done before, but we're going to do it now. Alright. There was an error too, where her animations ended up disappearing for some reason, as well as Marty's. So, I had to wait for an in-game update again to fix that, because as of right now, she can't do nothing. Oh boy. Oh dear. These glitches, man. I'm confused, and yeah. I'm sad mad. I kinda did that wonky, but... Right. Now, there it is. There's where we're looking for. And as you notice, for some reason, she'll go to the new one I placed down rather than the one I actually put down originally. I'm not sure why. I think it's like in the game, they just kind of decide that one that you put within the bundle is easier, I guess, when it came to mapping-wise. And what you'll notice within these quest lines is that it's following a pattern where it's going to go to Yvonne, going to play a bit, go to Fifi's quest, and then it's going to play a bit. So they actually change it slightly narrative-wise.
The Nightwing vampire family is more than a legend. They're real. In fact, Countess Yvonne has recently arrived in HorrorTown in search of Count Nightwing.
Nightwing, my beloved husband, where have you gone? No matter how far I must search, I will find you. We shall be reunited once more. Are you Mr. Satyr? I was told you were a useful source of information in this town. I'm looking for Count Nightwing. Have you heard any news about him?
Perhaps. but I like to trade my information. What can you give me in exchange?
I shall give you this box, which contains a valuable vampire-in-a-can charm inside. Is that a fair trade?
Right, so obtain the Haunted Essence, Blood Flask, and become a bat. So this is easy quest to do when it comes to just this stuff, so not to worry about that. It's interesting too because Fifi's animations, something I was going to mention before, Fifi's animations, I will say that they're kind of the typical dog thing, bury, scratch for fleas, and do a trick, which is basically do a little, like, walking like people, kind of like, oh look, she thinks she's people, kind of walking around with her hind legs up, and, you know, cute things like that. And then we have our Halloween to be a monster, her monster form, basically. And back in the day, I used to like the fact that you're able to kind of have tasks with showing their monster forms for the reason that these tasks are just because back in the day we wouldn't be able to. The only time we see the monster form, like Granny, is if we spawn her from the scene. But in some of the characters, like the one I made with Reggie, I made sure that you had at least to see that character walk around as a monster. So even in the case you don't have the scene, you can at least have a monster form. So after this, and get some items, we should be good when it comes to getting everything for this quest. So here we go.
Vampire in the can. I don't know what that is, but I do like the scary warning label plaster on it.
Let's just say it provides a costume change for anyone aspiring to be a vampire on Halloween.
That sounds useful. Listen, I don't know exactly where Nightwing's castle is, but it's nearby. If I find out any more, I'll be sure to pass it along to you.
Right, so we got that going for us. So we're gonna have to wait a little bit because I just wanted to share with you up here. Back in the day, this is what Nightwing's place was, but as we know, it's extended a bit. But anyways, continuing on.
Look, Countess Yvonne, we know who you are.
Yeah, and if you threaten us again, we'll turn you into the authorities.
Children, let's not be hasty. You caught me off guard. But I don't want to hurt anyone. If you help me find my beloved, I in turn will help you. How about it? Do we have a deal?
Now, do the Nightwing dance, obtain a vampire potion. Now, this is what I don't get. I'm surprised they didn't have this area, like this last quest to Yvonne, be presented in the end of the quest. Because this is basically talking about what just happened here. But I don't know. I guess they had to work with what they did, but yeah. After this quest, she's pretty much done. As you'll notice too, it's not. It wasn't as bad as previously. I put down this expensive item. Now if they changed it so that it's the item that you've gotten from the bundle, which is interesting. Apologies on the coughing. It's still with the irritation I have to deal with when it comes to these videos, unfortunately, when it comes to talking and communication. But I want to get these videos out there, so mind these. Basically, it sounds like I'm dying, but I'm fine.
I'm not sure I trust Countess Yvonne, but I do understand how she feels.
I just hope your instincts are right, Brooke.
Will the Countess honor her agreement with the children, or will Count Nightwing suddenly appear and turn them into vampires or a tasty snack?
So we're done with Yvonne's quest, and now we're going to the main story again. So let's do that.
Listen up, everyone. There will be an opening casting call for some roles in the upcoming vampire film. Don't get your hopes too high, as only a handful of people will get chosen. But good luck.
Oh man, I gotta get into this action. I could be a movie star. I just need an edge. I know. I'll see if old Satyr can help me out.
Alright, obtain some vampire makeup, place Fifi's house, and have Marty do a task. And this is important because after this is where we're going to get into Fifi's. I think there's like a few more episodes before we get into Fifi's, but they try to make sure to have you... Basically, when it comes to these quests, they change it so that you at least use all the items, you play with the new characters, spawn the scene, and just utilize everything that came with this pack. And then from there, you're able to do stuff. Now, I'm not sure in this case... Yeah, so Marty also didn't have his task erased. So I had to point this out to the team again. Yep, so we had to do that, and then that would pop up. Also, this is her animation of hiding from the umbrella, because previously there was supposed to be one with her doing this, but they've changed it to another task, which interesting enough, but yeah, just her face palming with her walking with the umbrella in a dark, not really sunny day, but what can you do? Right, so now we have it run like a vampire, so thank you, Marty. Get to do that for a bit. Oh boy. So we're gonna have him do that. I think he's the only kind of character that drops the silk, you know, the black robes cloth thing that's going on there, and we'll have that go there. Right, so we got that done, so we're gonna click this, and then we're gonna have to go over here to be able to craft it, in which case afterwards we'll be continuing on with the story. So you get to see how these revisited special goes. It's not gonna be as long as the last one, so thank God for that. It's going to be quick, so it's just going to be building up these stuff and then kind of continuing. So this is what you need. You need the vampire potion plus the powder, like, makeup thing. So we got that going for ourselves, and let's continue on with the quest.
Seder, I gotta get a pic for this vampire movie. Do you have a costume with a little mojo for me?
It just so happens I have just the thing for a budding thespian of a vampiric persuasion. Try this vampire in a can. It's guaranteed to make you stand out in the casting call.
Wow, thanks, Seder. People say you're shady, but I knew you'd come through.
Now we're going to go into Fifi's quest line.
I never trusted dogs, except for my buddy Drool. They generally tend to look at the skeletons as a collection of bones to chew on.
See, this is the first time they actually mentioned Drool here, so they do change the dialogue, as I probably predicted.
Puck, however, has a very different view. She adores her pet poodle, Fifi.
Fifi, you're just the bestest doggy woggy ever. You're the sweetest Smoopy, aren't you?
Alright, so place the film camera, obtain himself cloths, and howl as a monster. What's interesting about this is that previously in my past I've actually used clips of my pup at the time to do the barking kind of deal. But instead, unfortunately, I ended up, I didn't use other dogs. I actually voiced them myself. So I tried to make it seem more like a dog, but I don't know. I don't know if they come off that well, but, you know, talent. Gotta work with what you got, right? I mean, basically I'm doing a lazy way of doing it. I could have just, like, gotta gone to stock voices and get some clips, but I'm like, nah, screw it, I'm lazy. And cheap, you know. Having a damaged esophagus is not fun. And healing's gonna take a while, so hopefully it will be done very soon, but until then...
Fifi, you've been my faithful companion for years, but I never get tired of having you at my side. Let's brush your coat so it's nice and shiny, and then we'll put a bow on your head. Won't that be fun?
Yuck! I can't take much more of this sweet doggy talk without throwing up!
I forgot the cringe was real. That's... boy. Yeah, also, for some reason the quest line just kind of stopped halfway through. I don't know why. Okay, yeah. Yeah, these quests go by quick. I forgot how these quest lines were very, like, quick and this ended. Yeah, this whole Police Don't Feed the Vampires, when it came out, it was really glitchy. Anyways, she's back, so...
It's so nice and sunny out today. I think I'll take Fifi on a walk. Look, Fifi, that lady's dressed all in black, and she has an umbrella to keep the sun off her. How odd.
Pardon me, child. Are you a local? Can you possibly answer a question for me?
Right, so place camera stick, place the thing, and then have her do the umbrella. So this is where the umbrella thing comes in. Now what's interesting about this is that during the time, this is where we learned by Yvonne why she's kind of here. I mean, she's doing a video, yes, but a movie, I should say. But her main purpose to come here is because of the fact that Nightwing, her beloved, her husband, basically is around here somewhere, and it'll be interesting to see when he finally comes into the game.
You see, I'm a history buff. I've heard there was a legend of an ancient castle near here.
It was once a castle, now it's a mansion.
I've heard that story, but no one knows where the castle is. It's supposed to be full of vampires.
I'd still love to see it. If you do hear anything about the castle, please come tell me. You can find me on the film set. Just ask for Countess Yvonne.
Now we're ending it.
I'm glad you're coming with me while I walk my dog, Ricky. Fifi can get a little nervous sometimes. With all the commotion from the film going on, I'm afraid she might get spooked.
Ha! Look at Brooke and Ricky walking her dog. I bet my vampire costume will give them a scare. Boo! I am Count Marty, the greatest vampire in HorrorTown. I'm here for your blood.
Alright, obtain vampire food, obtain some small packets, and obtain some vampires, yeah. So, yeah, so it seems like Fifi's normal animations won't be showcased here, unfortunately, because I didn't recall until just doing the videos now. But what I will do is say that go back in the playlist that will provide what I provided during the beginning of this video, and you can take a look into the playlist of the Please Don't Feed the Vampires if you want to learn more. And I did show up all that stuff too, and you get to see my disappointment back in the day and my angry memes and all that other stuff of making fun of stuff and being oh boy. Yeah, so here's the close-up. So here's Yvonne and her movie clones, and Fifi, of course. They get us what we want, which is the vampire pack, or whatever you call it. It's weird too, because on the wiki I was reading it, and the pack is like this red thing. It's like they contain, like, you know, came in like a little packet. Inside the packet's like this red slime. People were kind of estimating, because it's like, well, there is monster blood that's blue that kind of does this weird slug-like thing. So it's like maybe red, like different colors do different things, so maybe red turns you vampire. Right, so they have that down in the wiki. There's no confirm or anything to say that that's the case, but if you want to look at it like purple peanut butter actually being like Goosebumps pink purple, monster blood purple, this shrinks you down, I guess. Do the opposite. I don't know. It's... Don't think about it. When in doubt, don't think about it. You know, I use that meme a while, occasionally. But I'll be a minute. I'm dumb. You can tell I'm stuttering here, trying to make conversation and being not half dead and dying, sounding like I'm dying on the corner. Maybe the vampires have gotten to me. They fed on me. That's why it's like feed the vampires. Yeah, so I didn't get the small pack, despite it being like all of them. Yeah, didn't get it. But anyways, screw that.
Aw, did your little doggy woggy eat something funny? I hope it doesn't give her gas. Look, Fifi's changing into something. She must not be a purebred. Hey, call off your mutt, Book. It's coming for me with murder in its eyes. Help!
Yeah, so I'm proud of that near one. So that's it. So now we're gonna continue on with this, which is weird because there was no quest line for it. Yeah, there was like no quest line that popped up for it. It just kind of showed up. It's like, well, place these things down, and there you go. So that's odd, but okay. Yeah, so there's like a few more less left, and it's like, I don't know. It's weird, because I could have sworn there was dialogue.
Marty, you scared Fifi. Shame on you. And that packet fell out of your costume, you dummy.
It has a warning label saying, "Danger, keep away. We should steer clear of it, Brooke."
Too late. Fifi thought it was something to eat. She's bitten into it, and she's changing.
Fifi turned into a vampire dog. Let's get out of here. Run!
I think I know what happened there.
Ricky, we've got to investigate that package from the vampire costume, and where it came from.
Hey, there's Satyr. I bet he's behind this. Satyr, do you know anything about a vampire costume?
Sir, I got one from Countess Yvonne, but you're out of luck because I already sold it. However, if you have any vampire problems, I recommend vampire repellent. I can sell you some.
Okay, obtain the vampire repellent, place the venture camera, and the thing. So I think what happened is why there was no dialogue in that particular quest was because what they're doing is that if you've played it normally, Fifi was like a premium character. She is kind of still, but what I mean is that you get her in the pack regardless. So what happened was, in the end of that story, it kind of concluded of what happened to Marty. So in that part, it was going to be continuing off of that again. So instead, what they did was they cut that part out and had it make it seem like it's a continuous story that actually makes sense, which I do like them what they tried to do here. However, not all of them ended up being like that, as you'll see in other episodes, like one in particular.
So, some silly pooch ate the vampire pack and went vampiric. This is an unanticipated outcome. But I cannot worry about it. My task here is to find my beloved Count Nightwing. My true identity must remain a secret. I can't risk getting discovered by interfering in human affairs.
And here we come to the end.
Countess Yvonne must be here on the film set. We just have to find her.
Don't worry, Brooke. We'll track her down, and we'll force her to make Fifi a normal dog again.
So, your children are looking for me. It seems my desire for anonymity is in vain.
But I have a question for you. What would you do if you found a real vampire?
Right, and now we're going to play the film set, get the vampire costume, and obtain the vampire kit. And once we're all done all that, that's it for the quest. Are we good and going? Hopefully, it'll be helping me survive this catastrophe. Oh boy. I know people are going to be concerned to be like, oh my god, is he dying? No. I hate this. I hate this so much. It sucks, and it feels like it's gonna be like this for a few months. It won't be until like the end of winter. Maybe I'm hoping earlier, but at the rate it's going, it's like, you know, it's a lot of things in my end has to alter a bit, but I'm still gonna do what I can. And some people are gonna not. A lot of people don't are not concerned with the coughing and whatnot, so it's like that's good. For me, I try my best. It's weird because sometimes when I talk, it's like what's going on is just some weird irritation thing, and it's just gonna be a while for it to heal. So it's just dealing with this nonsense for now. And previously, I thought it was some sort of weird after effect of a cold I had, like my whole family suffered with, but then it led into something else, and then it's like whole lot of problems, which is not good, not fun. But positivity, right? Right. I mean, it's not as negative as, like, there was no 2-week timer to do this and all that stuff. So anyways, let's just end the conclusion.
I feel sorry for Fifi, but we need to keep running from the vampire and the vampire dog.
Don't look back, Brooke. Fifi isn't your dog anymore. The vampire still has her.
I just wonder why they haven't caught up with us yet.
Don't wonder. Just keep running until we're safe.
Yay, we're done. So that was Please Don't Feed the Vampire storyline. And now, we'll go back to the book, the special book here. Yep. We're going to pretend we clicked it, and look, yay, we did it. So now we have to do this. And I already got all that stuff going, so it's good. So now it's going to be the quick boom, 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 and we'll be done. So we're just going to be slowly but surely showing off the prize, which is actually the grand prize to the event, which was the only decent thing out of that whole event, was the grand prize to it. That was the only good thing. Frankly. Dying slowly. Getting the capes. Good and going. The vampires are getting after me. I'm being delusional again. Things have passed, times of going, and now we're going to the teeth, because the third item we got was the cans, and now we got this going here. And I'm going to be turning off. So what I usually do is that I usually finish off a book and then I turn off the productions here, because I don't want to fill up my inventory. So once a storybook item is done, I'm rarely going to be using this anymore, so I'm just kind of like turn it off. And yeah, we got this going for ourselves. So it's like I need to get that in order to get the teeth. And then I need the spawn scene as well. But you've seen that before, so quite frankly, it's gonna be something else entirely. So we got that going for ourselves, so just need one more and then we're good. So we've got that going, so now we're gonna go ahead and craft ourselves the vampire makeup kit. So then we get ourselves the teeth, and time passed, we got ourselves that. We're now into the chicken update, and now we're going for the teeth. And by this time here, we finally got the teeth. So now we can finally complete the story and get the grand prize, which is right here. There you go. So we got that. Get the vampire altar. Yay, we did the book. We got a green check mark with the book now. Let's see this. Yep, there it is. Hooray! And yeah, those 2 books, oh boy. One of them I'm not looking forward to talking about, but a lot of interesting for both of them anyways. Yeah, so this is the vampire altar. This is what it drops. This is all this stuff with it. Honestly, it actually is one of the decent looking items. It actually looks pretty cool. And the fact you also get Fifi statues along with this pack is actually quite nice too, so there's that. So that's it. So that is, in question, the Please Don't Feed the Vampire special book and what it offers. All in all, in my opinion, is this something you should get? If you're a new player, and if you think anything here is interesting, then sure, I'd say go ahead. If you're a previous player like myself, if you want to complete the book again, or get the item or the prize, it's not a bad buy. If you didn't have the characters before when you bought them, like with Goosebumps, this is a cheap way to get them all in one. The other thing too with it is that it actually comes with unique items, or not unique items, but actually interesting items that actually helps you with your decorations and everything here. So take that into consideration for your time. But yeah, I think that's about it. Unfortunately, usually it'd be funny, haha, kind of deal, but yeah, dealing with a sickness is not that great, especially with conditions. But you know, I'm gonna pull through, and every day gets a little bit better. So as long as this video got some interested for you and you found it humorous, or at least some sort of entertainment or educational, that's the end of the day. That's the only thing that matters to me. So, until then, I've been Grim, and I will be seeing you next time for Goosebumps Horror Town, God is us for us, the Visit Special, or anything in between. So until then, I am now going to be going into my eternal rest in my coffin. No more vampires, please.